So today I will be teaching you how I did this type of animation, which is very similar to a video that I posted some time ago. So we will be recreating that. And you can also change the text, the frequency of the animation, or even the type of animation. Something like this. And also the thickness of the boxes and the space between them. So yeah. Create the text that we will input. So we can create a text that where we will type something, and we need to separate them into rows. And to do that, we will use a substitute that, and before the text before, and after we will use the text. We will be using the same, but we will replace every spacing between the characters with, so every space between them will have a slash, and then we need to delete the first and the last, and we'll do that by selecting the first, just like this. Now we can use a convert, where we will split the cells at this slash, like this, and then transpose. So now we have something that we can use, and we will be using this with a replicator. We will create a base, and in each base we will have the corresponding letter. So in the first base we will need to select the T, so it needs to be the 0. So you can name this whatever. I will name it letter, but it needs to start with 0. So letter 0, and then you can use this as master operator, and the new operators will be called letter also. And we can use the template that this one. We can maybe use null here, just in case. Yeah, something like this. And so we will create a text sub, and I will split here the view so I can work better. So here I will select this text, and I will say that I want the first letter. And so I will select the first letter, and to do that I will use the parent digits, so the number that we have here, and the 0 column. So now I will select the T, and if we then hit recreate, you can see that in the first it's the T, Y, E, and B. So it's working, and now we can even use out, maybe just to save here. Now, if we render, let's try to make a camera, and then let's make this like a geometry here. And if we render this geometry and like every letter, you can see that they are like on the same position. To see better, we can maybe use a constant. So we don't want that, obviously. We want them to be like this one on the, like we want this to be here, but the next letter we want to be a little like offset. So to do that, we will need to know the position of this letter. We can know that by using sop to chop, and then analyze and maximum, and also the minimum, I think. And then let's use a transform. So we want, okay, and hit recreate, and we actually want the next letter to be on this position, like the TX needs to be on this position. And to do that, we will so I will select the Y. Now here I have the T, so now I can just put it here, and as you can see, it's working. But if I recreate all of them, okay, right. Let's do it again. Now if I use this, because whenever I hit recreate, it will only take this and recreate to all of them. So if I only make changes here, it will not work. So I need to make changes in here, and I can then recreate. But now each letter will use this value, and I need to this letter to use the letter before, and this letter to use the letter before, and so on and so on. And I can do that by instead of saying letter 0, saying the letter so parent digits minus 1. So my digits minus 1, so it's the letter before. We'll make a string out of this. So it's missing a plus. Okay, so now if we take this to the master operator, which is the first, and hit recreate, it's still not working. So 749 7 4. Okay, so we actually need, but I think it's instead of using this one, we use this one. So the transform to analyze, and now it's working. So, and I also can see that it's like weird spaces. So here it's like a very small space and then a very big space. And to fix that, we can make a transform before. So because it's taking this space, so we can use a post and origin and minimum. Yeah, so now it's all like it's the same space, and to have, but we don't like want that to like always happen, so we need some space, and we can do that by using a, so let's create a constant, and I will name this space, so like this, and I will say that so it's this value plus the space, and that is be null 2, so it's space. So now if we change it, and by the way, it will always give an error on the first letter because it wants to look on to this value here, the parent digits -1, but there is no like letter before it, so it will only work on this one. So yeah, now we can change the space. And we will also need this to be like on the center. So to do that, I will actually use a select here. Select, so select like the out. So every letter out. And then I can just create here a geometry. And I can just delete the geometry that was inside. So now it will render this one. We can use a constant. Yep. So not to put it on the center, we can use a sub to chop and node analyze, so we can know the maximum value. Or maybe I think we don't need this. We can just use a transform, and then on the post we can use the origin, and I will also translate this to minus 0.5 like this. So even if I change the space, it will always stay on the center. And now to make the animation, we can use a pattern and an LFO, which is ramp, and here on face, and the length will be the number of rows, so we can just call the number of rows here. And to use these values, we need to shuffle them, channels and samples. And instead of a number that goes from -1 to 1, you can just say it's actually going from -1 to 1, and I want the range to be 0 to 1. So now the numbers go from 0 to 1. You can create a null. We'll name this 0. So now I can use the 0, 1, 2, 3 values. And I will select this. Just use a select, and I only want the, so I will again use the parent digit. So here it's 0, and I want the 0 channel, and I can do this by just typing parent digits, maybe a function expression. I mean, now if I recreate it, here it's 0, 1, 2, and so on. So now I can just use this value to do whatever I want. And I will make here another transform. So for example, if I want to change the size, I can just use a method to go from the size. Instead of going from 0 to 1, you can make a value that goes from 1 to 0, 1 to 2, I mean, and then use this on the scale, be not here on the z-axis. And now if I recreate it, it's giving an error because it's using the name, and if I go here, there is no name that has a 0. So so if you just delete these things here, it will call the number of the channel and not the name of the channel. So the number of the channel, it's the 0, so it's the first. Now you have it here. Now if I type a bigger string, so like this, it's like clipping through the camera, and I can actually, instead of just like always manually, actually just change this to orthography. So always like manually changing the size, I can actually use a sub to chop and know the maximum. Can I create that now just in case? And if I use this value, the TX value, it will always like stay it won't like cut the string. So if I type a smaller string, maybe I can create some margin by adding like 2. Maybe I can even add a leg here. Now I can change the type of animation if I want to. Like for the random, we can use another LFO that goes like from 0 to 100. If I change the seeds, it like kind of goes crazy. So I need to use a math and use round and then like slow down. So I will be using the sign. We can even use the square. If you use the square, you might want to use a leg also, like this. You can even change so it's up to you, really. So now to make like the rotation, you can create some like values for the rotation of tx, ty, and tz. And again, we need to use the number of rows here on the channel. We will use samples, and it's actually need to subtract 1, so now it's correct. And we will use you can either use random or Brownian. I prefer this one. just make it 0, so it's even more random. And then I will use again the shuffle. So this will be the rotation of X, rotation of Y, rotation of Z. And again, the swap channels. Create a null. And change the seed also. So I can also name this Rx, Ry, and Rz. And now I will use another select. Maybe here again the parent digits. So there is no name called 0, like there is no channel named 0, so we can actually just name this all 0. So they start from 0 and go on. So now we have them. So this is the Rx, here the Ry and Z. Maybe create a null. Maybe we can merge them actually. And now here again we can name use these values. So Rx, Y, and Z. So we actually need the values to be like bigger. So this is just from 0 to 1. We can change the amplitude to be like 180. Now let's see if we... Okay, so it's the same problem. We need to delete these things here. Now it's working. But we only want to like trigger the rotation whenever this also triggers. So we can use another math to combine this. So this, and then combine jobs with multiply. You can also just change like how strong the rotation is, so 1.1 maybe. We can maybe create another variable, so like rotation gain. So if we use this one, then recreate. And now we can also change like the origin, because it's rotating based on the this origin here, on the 0 origin. So the pivot we can, so let's use again SOP to chop and analyze and average, and we can then use the TX on the first value and TY on the second. Now it's rotating on the center of the value of the geometry. So maybe this is better. Now to create the boxes behind, we can so maybe here we can create a box. I mean, maybe let's create a rectangle actually. And then the transform. And actually we can just copy and paste this transform. So it will be the same transform. And maybe I think also this one. Let's see, we can create a null called box. And again use the select box. So yeah, something like this. We can even use extrude to make it look like a box. And also I will remove the charred sides, so it will have less vertex. And I actually want to have each box to be a different color. So this is not very good to do that, because if I then just create a geometry and put a material, it will apply to every box. So I will actually create another replicator. In this one I will say, so the box 0, and this will be the master operator, and the operator prefix will be box. And now to select, well actually I will create a geometry, not a base. And to do that, instead of just creating geometry like this, which for some reason doesn't work the way that I wanted, I will create an add, like a random stop, and then I will create a geometry that is connected, and then I will use this geometry with here. So this will be again the box 0. Okay, then I can just delete this and use the select, and I will select this box. So again, I will use my parent, the parent digits. So the string parent digits. Maybe that's working. And I will use here a material. And um, a ramp, or you can use like a constant or whatever you want, but I will use a ramp, and this will be here in the color map. Can delete, okay, delete it, so I can also apply the transformation for the boxes to be on the center, and I will do that by using this analyze tx, so subtract and divide it by 2, and I will also apply the same value that I put here, and so you can see that the letters are not showing up very well, and that is because they are like overlapping. So I can maybe use the transform here and make it like minus 0.1. Recreate. Okay, now it's working. Now to make the boxes like a little bigger, like with thickness, can create here again another variable like extrude, like thickness, extrude, and go here and think it's this value, it's this one. So use extrude here and recreate, and now you can control that. And now to have different colors, we can use our ramp and I will name this ramp 0, so we can then later use it inside here. Now we'll duplicate this. You can create how much, like whatever you can create more like profiles, but I would only create 4, and also you need to name this like 0, or maybe I don't know if you need to, but just do it. So ramp. Okay, I don't think you need to change it. So whatever. So to be random, I can again create. So use the channel here. I will make samples. Can use the number of rows and subtract 1. And I will use random and chop to that. And I want the values to be, so I want the colors to be random, so I need to have numbers that go from 0 to wait, I will change this. So profile 0, profile 1, 2, and 3. So ramp 0, 1, 2, and 3. So I want here numbers that go from 0 to 3. And I will do that by make it 4.5. So if you have like 5 profiles, like 5 colors that you want, you will need to make like 5 divide by 2, or if you have like only 2 colors, 2 divided by 2. So in this case I have 4, so I will make it like this. And then as you can see, I have like random numbers from 0 to 1. So 0, 2, 3. It's brown. 0, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, that's good. So now I could change these colors here. And now I can here I will use so the can maybe organize this better. So on the box, I will use this wrap, and instead of using 0, I will be using the number on the first, like on the corresponding parent digit. So if it's the 0, it will be 4. If it's 1, it will be the 0 ramp, and so on and so on. So I will make a string that is the operator chop to 1 parent digits 0, its parent, so it's the okay, so it's not working because there is no ramp called ramp4. So maybe let's actually make this floor. And maybe let's start from ramp. So instead of starting from ramp 0, start from ramp 1 and then to ramp 4. Now if you recreate the operators, you can see that it's working. So if we change here, it's still giving, so the D, so 5, still going to 0. So maybe actually let's go from 0 to 1. And say instead of 4, subtract 1. So subtract this. I think it will work always. Yeah, I think it's working. And yeah, that's it. You can like even trigger another type of stuff, like if you If you want, you can trigger uh, like italic version of the letter. If you use twist and then shear, change this so Y and X. So now if you use this one, maybe so use this value on the strength. And again, delete this. So now whenever the animation is triggered, it will like uh, twist the letter. You can obviously change the frequency. And then you can also do some post-processing, like I used ambient occlusion. So let's type a smaller word. So for some reason, like the letter is disappearing. To fix that, we can maybe transform this further. So like this. Again, the post processing, we can use the ambient occlusion. You can use the limit and composite and merge them together. You can use to give like a more like a shade and increase this maybe. So